Can you hear me?
Yeah, we good.
The green screen is on. The dribble is in effect. What's good?
Are we live?
Live as a motherfucker.
Yo, peace, Gully TV, how you?
I'm just working, man. Weight training, maintaining, same old flow. How you doing?
I'm good, brother. You know what I mean? Staying busy with the music and life,
First and foremost, I need you to introduce yourself, man. You got such an elaborate resume right now. You're like one of the hottest producers in the whole United States, man. And it's always a pleasure to have some contact with you, man, before them white folks get a hold of you.
Yeah, we come from the same area and shit, man. So we gotta stay tapped in. But to those that's listening, this PA Dre, the in-house producer for RJ Payne. I got a slew of track lists of people that I produced for, including Wu-Tang Clan, Inspectah Deck, RASS, KASS, George Clinton.
You got a song with the Atomic Dog. Are you serious? How did you link up with George Clinton? You taking Gully TV to new heights right now. We breaking new ground right now.
Yeah. It's actually through some work I did with RASS. I got a lot of music that's coming out that hasn't been heard yet with some really big name people. But anyways, it's a song. It's something me and RASS was putting together. We got a gang of songs. It's with RASS, Inspectah Deck, and George Clinton, produced by me.
How did the link come together? How do you get a legend of George Clinton's magnitude?
Well, it was really the alley-oop came through RASS,
Okay.
Like RASS, I would say RASS is one person, one of the few that's behind the scenes that that pull a lot of strings and believe in me. And it's funny because me and RASS was working before he even knew who RJ Payne was. Like, he didn't even know that me and Payne was working with each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And everything is just like with me and RASS. I was doing some production for Soul on Ice 2.
Woo!
Yeah. So I got one track on there. And every single day I produced on everything that RASS put out. I got a joint produced by me and Havoc that's on what's that? Oh, the album's called I'm Not Clearing Shit. I got two productions on there. One of them solo by myself, the other one was me and Havoc. We produced it. Then he came out with another the Horseman. The Horseman album with him.
Killer Priest.
Killer Priest, Cannabis, and Corrupt. I got 3 tracks on there. I did 3 joints on there. And we just got a lot of stuff. We got some shit we doing. I hope Brad don't mind me saying this, but I hope I'm not speaking too early, should I say? But we got a few things in the works. One allegedly supposed to have Erykah Badu on something. You know what I mean? Some shit we putting together with Goody Mob. Then the big dog joint, we working on it. We just waiting to see if this verse gonna get turned in. But RASS, Chuck D, featuring Nas, produced by me.
Ooh, nice.
But I got a lot of stuff I'm working on, man. It'll take me all day to sit and run it all down. But I got a lot of stuff I'm working on right now.
Tell me how you linked up with RJ Payne. How did you get the title RJ Payne's in-house producer? Hector, you know what I mean? Puerto Rican homie from Erie and all that. Right.
I guess they had a rapport with each other. This was in I want to say maybe late 2014, maybe beginning of 2015, one or the other, something like that. Anyways, they had a rapport with each other, and at the time he was still Rain Man. Right. Yeah, he was still Rain Man, and he was trying to get into the music world, but he was like, yo, I need a producer that's gonna give me some of that East Coast shit, like all the when I asked the beats niggas and sending me trap shit. You know what I mean? So
right.
I guess he asked Hectic if Hectic knew anybody, and Hectic directed him to me because at the time I was doing a lot of production for Hectic as well. You know what I mean? And he was pulling a lot of strings locally. Hectic was pulling a lot of strings for me,
right?
Too. You know what I mean? So, anyways, you know, he hit me up and shit. Told me he had an artist that he knew by the name of Rain Man from Philly, and was looking for beats and shit, you know what I mean? So I'm just like, you know, passing me through. At the time, to be honest, I hadn't heard of him. What I did, I just didn't realize it was the same person from the MTV battle and all that. So he patched us in and shit. You know, Payne, he had told me what he was looking for at the time, looked for some beats and asked me to send over a couple beats. Of course, I sent over like, you can ask him, I believe I sent over like 75 to 100 beats the first time he asked me to send over something. And that was just like a small, like, portion of some beats that I had real quick to send over, you know what I mean?
Right.
And, you know, I sent those over, and at the same time, I'm like, you know, let me go check and hear some of his music, feel me? So I go hear some of his music, and I just rip. I'm like, yo, homie is nice. I don't know why he ain't signed yet. Because I'm just like, yo, this not mind you. Also, this is, like I said, it was 2014, 2015, so all the East Coast niggas would sound like they was from down south.
Yeah.
So you weren't really
I remember that.
That was, yeah, so and then even the producers was making a lot of that, you know, like they was from down south type shit.
Right.
So ironically, at that same time, I'm in the same type of page in my mind. I'm like, yo, I'm making all these traditional East Coast beats. Niggas around me telling me kind of like, yo, man, maybe you should switch it up and, you know, nah. But I'm just like, no, this is what I do. This is what I love. You know, it's not meant for everybody. You know what I mean? I'm not about to like switch over to some other shit just to try to keep up. You know what I mean? Like, right. I know what my market is. And so I'm just like, yo, I just need an East Coast, somebody that's, you know, that's dope to spit on and shit. So pause. But, you know, I mean, somebody dope for that. So, you know, it all worked out. So anyways, I ended up hearing some of his music, and the shit blew me away. You know what I mean? We chopped it up on the phone, and it basically began from right there. You know what I mean?
Right. Damn.
So yeah, it began from right there. We started, you know, working on which album. It was a mixtape, I believe. It was supposed to be called, damn, I forgot the name. Art of Soul Volume 2 or something like that. Okay. We started on that, and then we started working on an album called Max Payne. And that's the one that's the first, like, really, the real project that me and him did together. I had produced, like, majority of that shit, like 98% of it. I had produced it. And then he was just like, yo, I'm putting together, you know, this team. You know, at the time, it was just him. Right. You know what I mean? I think it was like him and like an engineer named, well, I forgot Buddy's name. He was from like Alabama or something like that. But he was an engineer. Mm-hmm. He was like trying to put together this team or whatever like that. You know what I mean? Like how you feel about being a producer? I'm with it. And so, you know, we just started building from there. And, you know, everything just turned into, I mean, of course there's more to it in between, but, right. You know, that was just basically the beginning of how me and him got introduced into a workspace with each other.
When did y'all start to gain footing?
Okay, so after we did the Max Payne album, we was like just trying to figure out what we was gonna do next. What was the next move? You know what I mean? Right. And he posted a picture on Instagram, and it was like a split picture. On one side it was him, the other side it was Big L, right? Okay. And the caption was, people always tell me that me and Big L look alike. Now at that time I was working on some beats, but like multitasking type shit. I'm working on some beats, and at the same time like checking to see what's going on Instagram type shit. So I go on there and I see that, and like a light bulb go off in my head, bro. And like I delete the beat that I was working on. I'm like, yo, I know what I'm about to do, and I'm not even gonna tell him. I know exactly what I'm about to do. So I seen that, right? And I seen a split picture of him and Big L, and him saying people always say this is twin or whatever like that. Mm-hmm. I said, yo, I went and I did all this in one day. I recreated like 10 Big L beats of some like his illest joints, right? Recreated them from scratch. Right. Created a track list, I created a album cover, and I named it The Ghost of Big L.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so what I did was I took all that and I emailed it to Payne. And I said, Joe, what you think about this right here? You know what I mean? I'm like, I just seen the post right here. Here go a Gang of the Beast. It's the track list. All you pretty much got to do is, you know what I mean, put the vocals to it and whatnot. You know what I mean? So he was thinking the idea. He was just like, damn, you put that all together in one day? I'm like, yeah, bro. As soon as I seen that picture, I whipped it up. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm like, yo, what we going to do is we're going to have like our versions on the album. And then after our version, we'll have the Big L version for those that might not know exactly what's going on. So won't nobody think that we inviting. And then for those that's like, that might not be hip to Big L, that, they can get schooled in that form.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
And so once we started working on that, Kid Capri seen it. And he reached out and he like, yo, I want to be a part of this, right? So Kid Capri ended up hosting that album. And, he was, reposting it and things like that. So we was starting to gain some traction.
Right.
So,
that was going to be my next question. So that you answered my next question. At this point, so me and you, your first time getting in the mix is when Kid Capri grabbed y'all up?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay. So what happened?
You
I'm talking about, when he took notice of your shit, that was your, technically your big break right there?
Yeah. Yup. That was like the jump start of it. But then it was like, it worked gradually because after that, we did another one, as you know, because you was on it.
Right.
We did, I'm like, yo, this shit ill. Like, people fucking with it. So then I'm just like, yo, let's do a Prodigy joint. And that one to me was the one that was really, it got us a lot of attention, and people was really, really fucking with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, P had a big fan base, huge fan base. Yeah.
Right. And so, and one thing that we wanted to do, when making these projects, we wanted to have people that was close to these artists, have something to say on
the project, right?
Yeah, that, and then people that might have been diehard, fans or what have you and shit. So that's why that turned out how it turned out. So we ended up having Big Twins, a few different people chime in and do drops for us or verses or whatever like that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And then after that, we did a Big Pun joint, and actually, Big Pun's wife was supposed to host that project, but she had basically changed her mind at the last minute. You know what I mean? But we still ended up putting the project out. But it was the next one after that is what really took things over the top when we did the Sean Price joint.
Okay.
You know what I mean? We did that joint. So, at the time, when we was creating these projects and shit, I'm reaching out to all types of people because we always felt it looked better to have somebody to speak for the artist, make the artist look that much more important.
It made it look the project look legitimate.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Instead of having the artist all in everybody's inbox, yo, can you do this X, Y, and Z for me?
Right.
You got somebody representing them. You know what I mean? So at that time, that was me. You know what I mean? I'm in all types of motherfuckers' inboxes and shit like that trying to get you to participate. So it was like I said, we did the Sean Price joint. Bernadette Price ended up hosting it. We had mad people on it. And I reached out to Lord Jamar. And I'm like, yo, we're working on this project, the Sean Price tribute joint. And, just reaching out. This is damn near my exact words. I probably remember verbatim. It's like, yo, I'm reaching out in hopes that you'll be willing to do a drop or any contribution, is much appreciated. So he hit back like, yo, if this was Sean Price, I'll do a verse. So we bet, you know what I mean? Bet, that's dope. So anyways, time was going by a little bit, and we was kind of waiting to see if he was going to come through with the verse or whatever. I'm checking in on him or whatever like that. You know what I mean? And he was taking him a little time, you know what I mean? I wasn't sure how I was going to turn out or whatever like that. It was taking some time. So Payne hit me like, yo, what's up with bro? Is he going to do it? So I'm telling Payne, I'm like, yo, man, maybe you should reach out to him too, so you can kind of introduce yourself, so he can kind of know who you are. That might make him move a little quicker type shit,
right,
feel me?
Right.
So, at the time, Lord Jamar had did some sort of book challenge. I'm not sure
the book phone challenge.
Yeah.
I was a part of that. I remember that. That was dope. Shout out to Lord Jamar.
Right, and so what ended up happening was Payne had did a freestyle version with books and shit like that. And Lord Jamar seen it, reposted it, and just was reposting a bunch of Payne's videos. And just, man, that woke up the world, it felt like. When that happened right there, it felt like it woke up the world. Like we turned into something completely different than what we was like the day before that type shit. You know what I mean? Right. It was like Missy Elliott, Busta Rhymes, all types of people was just coming out the woodwork.
Word.
Yeah. So that was like the beginning of the takeoff type shit, you know? The
beginning of the dynasty.
Yeah, that was the beginning of the dynasty right there.
Damn, man. Talk about resuscitating and building and shit. Shout out to Payne for being resilient. Yeah, I seen Cool Kim from the UMCs. He came back rebranded as NY Oil. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shout out to Payne. Out of the projects, out of that series that you did with the Sean Price, the Prodigy, the Big L, and all of that, the Big Pun. Which one, in your opinion, was the hottest?
The hottest?
Yeah.
Man, that's tough, bro. Like, cause I want to say Prodigy.
Yeah, because I'm considering momentum, like, you know, people fucking with it and downloading it and shit like that, streaming it.
Okay, yeah. Yes, I'm gonna say the Prodigy joint and the Sean Price joint.
Right.
And then it's like now people is going back and they find out about them projects.
Right.
So it's like untapped gold for a lot of, like, it's crazy, bro, because I'll see people commenting on shit like, yo, Payne should drop a project called Ghost to Big L. Like, my word, I see this shit all the time. And I'll hit a motherfucker with the link like, yo, we already did that. Check it out. Later.
Word.
I hit him with the link, like, you know what I mean?
Word. Damn. Hey, is it, before we go any further, run off your resume, man, your production resume. Let me show off one time.
Yes, man.
Run off. Go ahead, Dre. Just style on them right quick. So, because after the RJ Payne shit, you started to get a reputation as a producer. But please, because I watched it happen, run off your resume.
Man, I mean, I can run off some of it that I can think of. Like I said, RASS, KASS, Freeway. Me and Mickey Fax did a whole album.
Shout out to Fax.
Yeah, Warp Collage. We had a song on there called A-, where he rapping about the letter A without using it one time in the song. That was a dope. We ended up doing 2 videos for that. So anyways, in Mickey Fax, we got Grizz Rothstein, we got Petey Crack, we got Elzai, we got Shay Noir. I recently did some shit for Method Man. Man, the list is long, bro. The battle rapper Official. I did some shit for her. Boy, the list. Neef. Well, I did a joint for Neef Buck real quick. The record I produced for Neef Buck, I wasn't really sure. Like, I had this some shit for him, and I had this some shit for Skino. And at the time, I didn't know that them niggas was having an issue.
Yeah, they had a big issue.
Yeah, at the time, I didn't know. Feel me?
Right.
So I did the joint for Neef, and that ended up coming out first for any other shit that I was doing for Skino. And it was like when it came out, he was like, I don't know if you want to say dissing on Skino, but responding to him more than this.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that when that happened to you. I remember that.
Yep. And then when that happened, it was like whatever it was I was building with Oskino was Melissa rap for that. You know what I mean? I don't know if he thought that I had something to do with it, or I don't know. You know what I mean? But anyway, so some more
it's one of those situations.
Production credit, I got Raheem Devon, you know what I mean? Capadonna, Ransom, Bahamadia, Sauce Money, Uncle John. I'm working with Mav Montana right now. We got a bunch of people in Wrong Streets, Stove God, what? It's a list, man. It's tough. Because, I've been doing this for so long.
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
Ooh.
I've been doing this for so long, so it's just like...
I'm glad you unloaded that drum on here, man. I'm glad you unloaded that drum. They needed to know that, man. Now they gonna specifically be able to focus in on what you're doing, because you all over the place and ain't nobody ranting and taking notice of it. We don't have last night I seen they gave Christina Aguilera an Icon Award. Black people in our type of entertainment, urban entertainment, hip-hop music and shit like that, we don't have any big prestigious award ceremonies or anything where people get their recognition and shit. But you raising hell. You raising hell.
Let me add this real quick. While I'm thinking about it, Ice-T. I got a joint with RASS, Ice-T, and Kool Keith. We got a crazy joint. I did some shit for Stan Spit and McGruff. Let me see here. Rock Nest Monster. Let me see. UFO Thieves. He like a new guy that's out that's real hot. Oh, Big Ooh. Me and him, we got some shit too.
Ooh?
Me and Big Ooh, you know.
Jersey.
Yeah.
My man.
Yeah.
Shout out to Big Ooh.
Yeah, we got some shit too. Guilty Simpson. Let me see what else, bro. It's man, the list is crazy, man.
Damn.
So I do want to say this though. Dr. Dre played some of our shit for a whole month straight, every Saturday for a month straight.
Well, on what platform? On what platform?
On the Pharmacy Radio. That was Dr. Dre's radio station.
Word.
Yeah, it had that. Then I had it was a record I produced. It was a record I produced for Payne. It's called Drums of War. And Eric Sermon hit me up about that joint. And he wanted the beat. He like, I need that. I want that beat. Like, brother, so we got the song out already.
Right.
But I need that beat. You know what I mean?
Still wanted the beat, huh?
He still wanted it, but dig though. The song samples Tears. I didn't even think about when I made the shit. I didn't think about RZA had already did. You know what I mean? And the nigga Eric Sermon, I like what you did a little bit better though. You know, that was, I feel honored by that.
No doubt. Tell me how many reputable hip hop legends you've been recognized by for your artistry. Like when something like that, when a compliment come down like that from somebody like Eric Sermon, that's huge. I'm into basketball. I would just go crazy if one of them niggas gave me a compliment.
Yeah, so. I mean that's how it was. You know what I mean? Like for real. That's how it was. It's like damn, Eric Sermon and RZA are like two of the producers that that inspired me. You know what I mean? So that I had RZA. We had RZA do a little interlude over one of my beats. For some shit me and RASS did, so just having that being in tune like that, you know what I mean, with them, it's just, man, it's amazing, bro. Like, for real. Oh, then, Wordsworth, too, I gotta shout him out.
Oh, Wordsworth is a beast, man. Shout out to Wordsworth.
Got an album coming.
Yeah, I like his music, man. I like everything about his flow, man. Like, he nice.
Yo, the joint that man Wordsworth got for you, though. For the
Pillmatic album.
Yeah, yo, hey bro, I'm gonna tell you this story real quick before Words even have a chance to tell you, right? I sent him the beat. I'm like, yo, this the one we're gonna use for the Gully tape. He like, I bet. Sent him the beat. He sent me the song back, maybe like a week later, week or two. I had forgot. Feel me? I had forgot that was the beat that I sent him for the Gully joint.
Right.
So I'm listening to it, and the hook come in. He had a ill-ass thing on the hook, all that. I'm listening to it. I'm like, yo, they gonna love this shit. They gonna love this shit right here. So I'm hitting him up like, yeah, we might have to put this out as a single for our album type shit. And so I go to start mixing the song, and I realized the name of the beat, and I was like, oh shit. This ain't even our joint. This ain't even our joint. And fuck me, I'm like, bro, I said, yo, we gotta double back. I said, cause this right here, I want to keep this motherfucker. Right. Gully is the bro. We can't do that. You know what I mean? Right. It's like if we made that, we can always make another one. But I'm like, the record was so hot, bro. Bullshit you not. I'm like, man, I want to keep this motherfucker. So, but I'm like, you know what? I'm like, if we're gonna go ahead and do that, though, if we're gonna do that for you, for Gully, you know what I mean? Let's do it all we right. So I got something else being added to the song. That's why I ain't said to do shit like that. You know what I mean? But it's a monster though. It's definitely a single.
That album's gonna shock people. That album's gonna shock people. I got a vision of what I want that album to be. I want that album to be novelty like Raucous Records and shit. I want it to be a masterpiece. You know what I mean? Like, seriously, man. Like, that Raucous Records shit, it meant so much to me. It touched me. It sounded just so good. Feel good and shit. And lyrics over that feel good, rhythm and shit.
You know, it's crazy because we talk about, the Raucous thing, and, like I said, I'm doing a project with Wordsworth, and, he was a part of that whole situation. Right. And then Shabam Sadiq, I'm doing an album with him. He was part of that situation. I just did some shit with Bahamadia, and of course, you know what I mean? So it's like, that was my twist right there.
Yeah, I got in tune with it when I was in college. Very, very big part of my arsenal now. I like to go further into that genre, that pocket right there. You know what I'm talking about and shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Dre, when was the last time that you had to rap on a song? Because people don't know that you started out as an MC. Will you still bar a nigga up?
Man, you know what though? It's like riding a bike. You know what I mean? But it's like, to keep it 100 with you, I'm having too much fun. Like, motherfuckers be asking me, yo, when you gonna rap on something, X, Y, and Z? I'm just like, yo, I ain't even thought about that shit in so long because I've been having so much fun, with this production and shit. Right. You know what I mean? Right. But I mean, any time a nigga sit down and shit, write something or whatever like that, that's not, like I said, I started out doing that first.
Yeah, that's how you came to Gully TV as an MC.
Yeah, I started out doing that first, you know what I mean? So
Word.
But my love though, obviously my love is producing though, you know what I mean?
Give my listeners some history on your pedigree, with your father's situation.
Hey, I was getting ready to go there, you know what I mean?
Let's go there.
My grandfather is the one that's doing the hi-hat on the Shaft theme song. It's all that shit. Right. That's my grandfather doing that. And my dad, he was the one that's playing the percussion on the Anita Ward song, The Ring My Bells. Like, he doing that. He did some shit with Shaka Khan, fucking Isaac Hayes. I'm originally from Memphis, you know what I mean? So, like, during my early childhood, like, a lot of those, musicians and shit used to be over at my house, practicing with my father. Right. And, matter of fact, Shaka Khan bonded my father out of jail just to play drums on one of her songs. She was doing some shit in Memphis. And at the time, he was, like, classified, as one of the top 3 drummers in Memphis. And motherfuckers like, yo, they used to call him Smith. They're like, yo, if you want somebody to play some ill drums, you got to go get Smith. But he locked up. And they bonded him out. He went straight from the jail, straight to the studio. Played drums. Yeah. Damn. I done been to Stack Studios and all that, too, in Memphis. Now, it's funny because you know, in my earlier stage of making beats, I couldn't get the you know, I was alright, but it was like I was missing some things, you know what I mean?
Right.
And it's like my father took me, my brother, and like 8 of our friends. He rented a van and took us all down to Memphis. He was our manager at the time. We had a big ass rap group. It was almost like the Wu-Tang shit. You know what I mean? I was the producer, and we had a trio, like some R&B singers. Then I had 2 cousins from Memphis that was like on some down south shit, and then I had so I had to be very versatile. I had to know how to like, this is the East Coast shit for them. They go some shit with my cousins and shit to rap to. They go some R&B shit. You know what I mean? I had to stay in the pocket like that. So I was always working. I was always down in my parents' basement and shit, just cooking, you know? So anyways, my father was seeing how serious shit was or whatever like that. So he took us down to Memphis and, you know, to introduce us into some, you know, his band members and shit like that. And they had brought over this guy. He was a bass player. He used to play bass for 8 Ball and MJG.
Mm-hmm.
So we were staying in a hotel, and like at the time, you know what I'm saying, my brothers, my friends and shit, we young. We like 17, 16, 17, 18 type shit. And we young. And so niggas is just enjoying like being out of state in this hotel. Niggas had mad bud, alcohol. I mean, I know I'm saying we youngsters, but still, you know, we had bud.
Got
alcohol,
weed, right.
Right. So, you know, niggas was having the time of their life. But me, the whole time, I didn't really get into all that. I was locked in on the music the whole time. I'm like, yo, I'm here to work and learn.
Right.
And so the band members that, you know, my father had brought us around, they took notice of that. And they're like, yo, they pointed at me. They was like, yo, that one right there, you got to watch him because he going to be the one. And like I said, the one that played bass for 8 Ball and MJG, he's the one that taught me. He said, I'm going to show you something. He taught me how to play bass lines and how to put them in pocket with my kicks and my snares and all. He like, yo, whenever you got a kick drum and a snare drum, you want your bass line to like follow. And before that, I didn't know nothing about that shit. You know what I mean? So when I came back home, I was a completely different person as far as on the production side. That's when I really was like, I figuring it out, you know, on the production side. But it came from me learning from in Memphis, you know what I mean?
Dope. So you was destined to be where you at right now. Tell me about networking skills. Tell me how important was it for you to be able to network and speak and communicate with people to get to where you are right now. You eventually relocated from the East Coast to the Bay Area?
Well, Sacramento. It's not considered that, but
yeah, I know, yeah. But,
you know what I mean? But yeah, I've been out here about like 3-4 years. You know what I mean?
But how were you received in the hip hop community on the West Coast? You got any workout out there?
Yeah, I got some work out here. You know what I mean? I'm working with a couple artists and shit out here, man. It's like, I don't know, it's funny because off rip, you know, when I get here, I'm thinking everything. I'm still thinking like hiking and all that. You know what I mean? Coming from the East Coast. Oh man, that's crazy. This Neef Buck manager calling me right now. But I'm gonna hit him back though once we get done with this.
Right.
Where was I at, bro? I'm sorry about that. Where was I at?
Memphis.
What was we talking about? I think it just blew me up.
Oh, the Bay Area.
Oh, yeah. So, anyways, you know, off rip, I'm thinking everything was like that, like high school type shit or whatever, you know what I mean? But it's like I bumped into a few artists out this joint that, like, one of them I thought was from the East Coast when I first heard it.
Right.
I'm like, nigga, you gotta be from New York type shit. He's like, nah. He said, but I lived in New York for like 4 years fucking with Ski Beats. And I'm sure you know who that is.
Yeah.
Yes, well, for those who don't, that's Jay-Z's original producer. He did Dead Presidents and all that shit. Oh, to go back real quick, he was like the first stamp. Ski Beats was. Like, the first person that really, like, let me know, like, yo, you doing something right. And it blew my mind away.
How did you encounter him? On Twitter?
Facebook.
Facebook?
Yeah, at that time, it was on Facebook. And, you know, he heard some of my shit, and he was just like, yo, you just inspired me to go cook up some shit. And I was just like, damn. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember when that happened. I remember you told me about that.
You know, that was wild. That was wild for me. You know what I mean? Because like Steve was one of the producers that I really looked up to. But so anyways, as far as out here, you know what I mean, I've been working. I just actually dropped the album with the artist. He's an artist / producer. He did some shit for like Lloyd Banks, and he be fucking with Conway and a few other people. And shit's named Mosh Book. You know what I mean? We just dropped a project. It's called Agenda 21.
Okay.
And so we got Payne on there, Briz, a bunch of motherfuckers we got on there. But we talking about some shit though, you know what I mean? For anybody that's aware about the Agenda 21 shit, they'll know. Like, we talking about some shit, you know what I mean?
Right. No doubt. How have you been able to juggle all of these endeavors? I mean, I know I be up to my neck in all of my shit. I stay in my email. I'm always trying to plug my shit up to some type of platform where there's, you know, how do you chase your monetaries down from a producer perspective?
Well, we talking about on the bread side. I got a website where I sell beats from.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's basically like passive income, you know what I mean? Like, niggas, a lot of producers, what they do is they put their beats on like BeatStars and like, you know, some of those type of apps. Which I'm not knocking, and it makes sense for those that's into that. But those sites take a percentage of your bread. You know what I mean? And I'm more of a direct to consumer type of nigga. Like, yo, fuck all that. If y'all really fuck with me, you can come straight to my site. You know what I mean? So that's how I got my shit. Shout out to Chrissy Mack for, you know, building my site up. You know what I mean? And, you know, a lot of people go over there and shit on the cop beats. And sometimes I'll just wake up to the Cash App going off and all that. Motherfuckers just cop something or whatever like that. But outside of that, though, man, it's like staring in these motherfuckers' faces.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Staring in these motherfuckers' faces. Well, you know,
do they got platforms? Do they got like outside platforms where you can, you know, upload your shit? And I know you just described that. I know you just described that. I'm talking about just an additional to your site. Like with me, I got my site. I got the blogger. I'm on YouTube, of course. I'm on Vimeo. You know, just literally like I didn't do the fan. I think it's called Fan Base. I didn't start one of those yet, but
yeah, I ain't going through all that. You know, I'm on Instagram, Twitter, but I'm gonna keep it 100. Instagram's like the main money maker though. You know what I mean? I'm on there, Twitter, YouTube. I was like fuck on SoundCloud and some of those other shits, man. But yo, niggas be stealing beats, so I stopped doing it. You know, like I used to post my beats on YouTube and all that, and I started having niggas emailing me songs that did over my beats, and I'm like, yo, how the hell did you even get this shit? And I forgot. I'm like, oh shit, it's on YouTube.
Right.
And so I started taking a lot of my beats off of YouTube, and then niggas be ripping shit off SoundCloud and all that. So I make it straight to, you can't rip nothing off of my site. So if you want to hear my beats,
if somebody rips something off YouTube, they can't monetize it, right? They can't go make the song and sell it, right?
They could try. They could try, but you know that become a whole issue.
How do they track down you know, earnings when somebody do that?
You gotta be registered with like the PROs and all. You know what I mean? Be registered with like BMI, ASCAP. They track all that down. Sound Exchange, Song Trust. You know, be signed up to those places. Like that's their job to track all that shit down.
And those are what, like collection agencies?
Yeah. You know, so you get a check. So let's say if we did like one song, feel me? Mm-hmm. You should get like three or four checks just off of one song. You know what I mean? If you register your shit right. And it depends on what all do you do. You know what I mean? Like it's mad ways, man, for people to get paid off of this shit, and they don't even be knowing it. You know, and that's more or less the long-term game.
Right. Now explain to me the ASCAP situation.
With the ASCAP situation, they collect. One thing I would say, the ASCAP has over BMI is they collect overseas too.
Okay.
You know what I mean? BMI is more or less like in the States. You know what I mean? But ASCAP, they collect in the States and like overseas and all that. But they collect all your royalties and shit like that. Make sure you're getting paid off whenever somebody streaming your shit or playing something on the radio or whatever it may be. Somebody using your shit.
Right.
They make sure you get paid off it.
Is the era of the major record label over with? I see Def Jam, they got Snoop Dogg over there. Seem like they trying to use him as bait.
Yeah.
Huh?
It's over, man. Because see, what they doing now is like a lot of these labels, they try to come fuck with people that already done made themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, all right, well, I'm here now. What I need you for?
Yeah. What advantages would I incur by signing up with you now?
Right. It's more or less like they'll show you like, yo, well, we got more of a reach. Just little shit like that.
Yeah.
We can get your music in certain places and X, Y, and Z. But it's like, yo, if you grind hard enough and make the right relationships or what have you, you can obtain all that yourself.
Right.
You see how like Griselda, see how they did it? When they got with Shady, they didn't even need to do that shit.
No.
But
I think getting with Shady made them extremely popular in pop culture though. Like just hearing their name. Eminem signed a rap group. Their name is the Griselda. Griselda rap.
Right. But it was already a fixture in hip hop without that. Like I feel like that didn't even really do nothing for them as far as when it comes to people that already like was tapped in.
It seemed like they don't fuck with him.
What'd you say?
It seemed like they don't really fuck with him or didn't fuck with it or probably regret doing it.
From my understanding, I believe certain people felt as though Shady Records wasn't promoting them like that.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Oh.
I've seen Wes tweet shit like when they did the album on Shady. They're like, yo, it's crazy. Is somebody gonna tell Shady Records that we just dropped the album? Like when they gonna retweet this shit or repost it type shit.
Damn.
Yeah, but so like I was saying, it's like these big labels or whatever, they'll come to you when you already made it up. And like some people they'll go for it because they're like, well, yeah, I know we already. And I'm not saying this is Griselda, but I'm just saying some people be like, well, I know we already doing our thing or whatever like that. But my dream was to always be on Def Jam. You know what I mean? Like niggas go for that childhood dream. Like y'all always want to be on X, Y, and Z label. So,
I understand that.
Right.
Yeah.
But from a monetary side, it's not really the smartest move. Because then they want to, they want to like own your back catalog of music that you created before you got with them. Niggas want percentages of your show money, your merchandise. Those are 360 deals and shit.
What, when you sign up with a label?
Yeah, and then they get a percentage of
and what do they do for you after all that raping? Just make you famous? Just put you on billboards and
check this out.
Put you on a digital billboard in China and shit like that?
Right, shit you could have did for yourself if you was thinking that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like niggas don't understand. Like with even the billboard game, them shits depend on where they at. You like only like $3,000 to do that. It is not a whole lot. You know what I mean? But the average mind, like think about it like this: you got whether it be a rapper or producer or whatever. Majority of the time, they ain't even focused on like the marketing side of the shit. They focus on the content, how to create the song, or how to create the music.
Yeah.
But you got a few people that actually focuses on that. But majority of the time, you know what I mean? Niggas don't focus on that all that shit. So they think they might need a label to do all that for them. They don't. And I'm gonna say this too. Like I used to think, getting with a label was the move, but honestly, that shit's just an expensive ass loan.
Yeah.
That's it. And the niggas don't be realizing, oh yeah, I just got on for, Niggas just gave me $1 million.
Yeah.
It's like, no, nigga, you are $1 million in debt.
Million in the hole.
Unless you double that shit, you $1 million in debt. That's why I tell you, like, yo, I'm cool on like anything.
Damn.
We could do a joint venture distribution or something like that, but nah, I'm cool on record.
No doubt. No doubt. So, aside from, your endeavors at EIMG, have you ever been solicited by any of the labels or any of the superpowers to come and join up?
Yeah, but I don't want to, you know what I mean? I don't put that out there.
Huh?
I said, yeah, but I don't really want to put that out there because that might start some shit, you know what I mean? So, Yeah, you know how this shit go. You know how this shit go.
No doubt.
Niggas real quick to try to, yo, why don't you come over here? You know, little shit like that. But outside of, that was anything outside of EIMC, it would be my own thing.
No doubt. Do you have your own? What was y'all name when y'all first came out? Rule Boys or some shit? Wild Boys.
Oh, Wild. Oh, you talking about just dead?
That was y'all movement, right? Or it was Wild Boys, right?
Yeah. Yup.
Okay, so what is it now?
Well, I mean, that was the shit that I was doing. You know what I'm saying, with the hometown team and all that. You know, and man, life. You know what I'm saying? Like life, man. I feel like life kind of like got in the way of that particular situation. You know what I mean? That's why that's no longer a thing. But okay, like, I don't got no issues with nobody.
Because of that, you're not gonna be a rapper no more.
What you say?
Because of that, you're not really gonna be you're never gonna be a rapper again because of
that didn't have nothing to do with my like hunger to want to be a rapper. Like, to be honest with you, it was like even being like everybody that was around me basically became rappers and shit because of me. Like, the music thing was my dream. Okay. But everybody else was like fucking with it. You know what I mean? The niggas fell off and shit like that. Like, my original group was a UG family. And my father, he was the manager that I was telling you about, was like touring with us or whatever like that. I went and did a little time or whatever like that. And by the time I got out, everybody was like, fuck it, because they felt like the backbone of the shit was gone. The soul of the group was gone. And so by the time I got out, it was like, all right, well, now it's time to create something else or whatever like that. And that's when me and Steph, we ended up doing like the Wild Boys thing. You know what I mean? But it was funny because it was like, that was just something me and him used to say to each other. You know what I mean? But then we were just like, yo, fuck it, we gonna, almost like Wu-Tang. Like, Wu-Tang was just something that they used to say. They used to call shit like Wu-Tang. Like, this, the beers, if I got the story right, Ghostface used to call like certain alcohol Wu-Tang or whatever. Right. So it was similar with the Wild Boys thing with me and Steph, you know what I mean? And, you know, we just started to build with that situation. But like I said, you know, it was like life, man. Life got in the way of that. And, you know, people have unfortunate situations happen in their lives, and it kind of like set them back, you know what I mean? Right. So, from here on out, it's just in 2021, 2022, it's just you and Payne. Well, yeah, that's my EIMG family. Me, Payne, Vetrex, you know, Larry Tan, Chrissy Mack. That's the EIMG crew right there. You know what I mean? Tell my listeners where your music and everything is available at. I appreciate you for coming on, man. I just wanted to reintroduce you to my squad. I mean, to my listeners, because you've been definitely getting it on. I think the last time we got together was 3 years ago. You did some soundtrack work on my Haitian Jack Speaks project, and it turned out dope as fuck. You recreated Against All Odds by Tupac. You know, I tell people, man, you know, I'm Gully TV affiliate, you know what I mean? All day.
No doubt.
It's just the home team. We always gonna root for that. You know what I mean?
Tell them where your shit at, Dre.
Well, you can find me on Instagram at PA_Dre_Beats_EINT. That's my Instagram. I got a website. It's PADreBeats.biz. Twitter, it's PA_Dre_Beats. And my Spotify shit obviously is PA Dre. You know what I mean?
No doubt. I appreciate you coming upon the Dribble Podcast. As you know, we're on all streaming platforms. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spreaker. We're on Spotify. We on all these platforms now, man. And we're gonna be heard. And I'm gonna need me some instrumentals and some fucking some intro. The intro song for the Dribble Podcast coming soon. I'll be looking for it in my email.
Hey, man, I got you. That's nothing.
No doubt.
I appreciate you having me on here, too. But I'm going to say this before I sign out. 2022. It's going to be something to look out for. You will hear a whole lot. I said 2021, I've been working, but more like behind the scenes. But right. 2022, I'm about to flood this shit.
No doubt.
Say, oh yeah, I got my album coming too. You know what I mean? So 2022, man, we about to look real nice. You know what I mean?
Your album that you got coming out, that's just that's your DJ Khaled Dribble.
Yeah. But see, the difference is I made my own beats.
No doubt. It's a difference.
I'm rhyming on like 2 or 3 songs on there.
Okay.
I've been working on it for about 3 or 4 years.
Oh, no doubt. That's your piece, man. I just told you, it took me 3 years to write that book and shit. You know what I mean?
I thought about that when you said it to me, and it's just like, yo, niggas been asking me, when you gonna drop it? I named it after my first production name, which is Midas Touch. That's what they used to call me before I was PA Dre.
I remember that, Midas Touch Productions.
Yeah.
I remember that.
So that's the name of the album, man. So, but I got a lot of shit. You on the lookout for the Inspectah Deck album, the top of the year, too.
Oh, no doubt. Let me get a drop, man. Let me get up out of here, man. Let me get a dope one for the Dribble Podcast and Gully TV. And a dope one because I'm going to use this the whole 2022.
Yeah. Yo, this PA Dre. You know what I mean? I'm now checking in one of my favorite podcast journalists, hip-hop journalists. You know, Gully TV, the Dribble, the #1 Dribble. Yo, it's funny. Right now, I got on my fashion ball, you know what I mean? Because, you know, the brothers stay in tune with all types of shit, clothing and all that. Right now, I got on my hoodie straight from you. I appreciate that.
No doubt.
Yeah. Big shout out to Gully TV, yo. You know what I mean? One of my #1 supporters since I started with this shit. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
And if you ain't tapped in with him right now, man, you must be living under a fucking rock.
No doubt. True lords of the underground, man. We gonna stay there, man. And we gonna come up, man. Continue to rise. That cream continues to rise, man. I appreciate you for coming on the platform, Dre. In a minute, man. Let me get a drop, and I'm up out of here. Go ahead.
Yo, peace. This is PA Dre. I'm signing out. Peace to Gully TV. Thanks for having me on the platform, bro.
One. All right, Dre.